This is Ron Kelleher with the Inspired Leadership Podcast, episode number 554. Today's episode is entitled Five Woes of Isaiah, Warnings for Today's Christian Business Leaders.
Hello, and welcome to Inspired Leadership, the podcast for Christian leaders in the marketplace who want to be the best leaders they can be. And now your host, Ron Kelleher.
In the book of Isaiah, we find profound warnings through the woes pronounced on the sinful behaviors of ancient Israel. While these messages were intended for a different time and culture, their timeless truths hold enduring relevance for contemporary business leaders. As Christian entrepreneurs, we must understand the dangers of the five woes found in Isaiah 5 and learn how to conduct ourselves in a way that pleases God and fosters a positive impact on our businesses and communities. So let's talk about the dangers of the five woes. Consider the story of Sarah. She's a successful CEO leading a prosperous corporation. Driven by unwavering pursuit of profit, she overlooks the well-being of her employees and the ethical implications of her business practices. Consequently, her company faces numerous lawsuits, a tarnished reputation, and internal strife. Sarah finds herself isolated, plagued by guilt and longing for a sense of purpose beyond mere financial success. As we reflect on Sarah's story, we face the reality that the pitfalls she encountered are not unique to her journey. The ancient words of Isaiah hold timeless wisdom that resonates with contemporary business leaders, guiding us in our pursuit of godly leadership. In Isaiah 5, we find a series of woes that serve as cautionary messages against sinful behaviors, providing invaluable insights for Christian entrepreneurs striving to make a positive impact in today's fast-paced and competitive business landscape. Let's delve into these five woes, exploring their meanings and understanding their relevance for us as leaders, seeking to lead with integrity, humility, and God's wisdom in every aspect of our professional lives. First, there's the woe to the greedy landowners and unjust gain described in Isaiah chapter 5, verses 8 to 10. This woe addresses those who accumulate wealth at the expense of others, particularly through unfair land acquisition. They prioritize their own gain over the needs of the vulnerable, leading to God's impending judgment. As contemporary business leaders, we must be vigilant to avoid unscrupulous practices that exploit others for personal profit. Ethical conduct and commitment to justice are essential in our pursuit of success. Second, woe to those who indulge in excess and pleasure-seeking, described in Isaiah chapter 5, verses 11 to 17. This woe targets those who seek pleasure and luxury while neglecting the spiritual needs of their society. Their excessive behavior leads to the neglect of God's ways and divine judgment. As Christian leaders, we should avoid the trap of materialism and prioritize a balanced life centered on God, valuing integrity and fostering a culture of purpose beyond financial gain. And number three, a woe to the moral relativists and those who justify wickedness, described in Isaiah chapter 5, verses 18 to 23. This woe condemns those who distort moral standards, calling evil good and good evil. They manipulate the truth and morality to suit their selfish desires, leading the nation astray. As Christian business leaders, we must uphold absolute moral principles and remain unwavering in our commitment to honesty and righteousness. Trust and credibility are essential for long-term success. The fourth woe is to the arrogant and the wise in their own eyes, described in Isaiah chapter 5, verse 21. This woe addresses those who rely on their own wisdom, rejecting God's guidance. Their arrogance blinds them to their need for divine wisdom, leading to their downfall. As Christian leaders, we must embrace humility, recognizing that our abilities and successes are gifts from God. Humble leadership fosters a collaborative work environment and a posture of continuous learning. And number 5, this woe is to the unjust who pervert the legal system, described in Isaiah chapter 5, verses 22 and 3. This woe warns against those who abuse the legal system for personal gain and deny justice to the innocent. Such practices undermine societal well-being and invite God's judgment. As Christian entrepreneurs and business leaders, we should advocate for transparency, accountability, and justice in our businesses, ensuring our practices align with righteousness. So in conclusion, as Christian business leaders, the warnings of the woes in Isaiah 5 serve as cautionary reminders. By embracing godly leadership and aligning our businesses with biblical principles, we can avoid the pitfalls of greed, excess, moral relativism, arrogance, and injustice. Seeking God's wisdom through prayer, scripture, and a humble posture, we can become transformative leaders who reflect God's love and light in the marketplace. Let us commit ourselves to conduct that pleases Him, thereby positively impacting our employees, customers, and communities for His glory. Well, that's it for this week. And as always, questions and comments are welcome. Which of the 5 woes do you think are most prevalent among business leaders today? And why do you suppose that is? I'd love it if you'd come over to the website at ronkelleher.com/episode 554 and leave me a question or a comment. And as always, before we go, I'd like to ask you to do me a quick favor, and that is to hop on over to whatever podcast service you're listening to this on. Leave a ranking for the show and a comment if you wish. It really does help us get the show into the hands of more and more people. So I thank you in advance for that and pray that God would help us all to be the powerful and the inspired leaders He intends us to be. That's it for this episode of Inspired Leadership. You'll find a complete transcript of this episode on my website at www.ronkelleher.com. My prayer now is that you'll go out and be the powerful, inspired leader that God intends us to be.
Thanks for listening to the Inspired Leadership Podcast at www.ronkelleher.com.